Hello and welcome to Rochford District Matters, the magazine produced by the Council for its residents. This is the Autumn 2014 edition. In this edition are articles on the Rochford Art Trail, funds to ease congestion, changes to parking charges, the annual report 2013-14, a D-Day hero remembers, keeping us safe and much more. But the first item is registering to vote. Your vote matters. Make sure you're in. All residents should have received a letter last month informing them of the change to the electoral registration system, a move from the old head of household registration system to individual electoral registration. Most Rochford District residents were automatically transferred to the new electoral register. However, some will have received a letter asking for more information to enable them to move on to the new registration system. Anyone who received a letter asking them to update their details can either register online at www.gov.uk/register to vote. You can register by phone on 01702 318187 or fill in the registration form that was attached to your letter. When you register, you will be asked for both your national insurance number and your date of birth. If you haven't received a letter, or if you have any other questions, contact the elections team on 01702 318187 or email elections@rochford.gov.uk.
Computer access training is for anyone over 25 years old living in the Rochford District. Learn the basics of different types of software, how to email friends and family, how to browse the internet and much more. You don't need to know anything about computers. There are 2 5-week informal courses, 2-hour sessions running one after the other. Course 1, Keeping in Contact, is the place to start if you are an absolute beginner. Course 2, Getting More from Computing if you want to learn more. You can take one or both courses, but you must take Course 1 first. Training for people in their own homes who have mobility or access problems. This is not a course, but is designed to assist with difficulties on a specific aspect. It's not necessary to have attended the courses before, but it is aimed at helping with any part of the project. There are small fees for the computer courses and home visits. Please ask for details. For more information, visit RAVS 105A High Street, Rayleigh, SS6 7QA, Monday to Thursday between 9 and 3 p.m. Call us on 01268 772796 or visit our website www.ravs.org.uk/laptop. This project is supported by the Ford Britain Trust.
Wanted, helping hands to support our community. Rochford and Rayleigh CAB is enhancing services for residents by modernising its way of working. Additional telephone operators are being trained. Advice and information via email introduced, and an outreach service is being developed. To deliver this enhanced service, more volunteers are needed. Training is provided, so everyone will be considered. For more information, call 0787 647 0100 or see www.advice360.org.uk. CAB offers free confidential advice on a range of issues. The Rochford office is in Back Lane, Rochford, postcode SS41AY. They're open Tuesday and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. At Rayleigh, it's the Civic Suite, Hockley Road, Rayleigh, SS6 8EB. They're open Monday, Thursday and Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can phone them 0844 477 0808 Monday to Friday between 9:30 a.m. and 4 p.m.
The Rochford Art Trail takes place from Thursday the 18th to Saturday the 27th of September. Visit Rochford's award-winning art trail to discover temporary exhibitions of art and crafts in shops, windows and public buildings. Visit the Facebook page for up-to-date information, including guided tours, workshops, demos and a pop-up marketplace. And here are the venues and exhibiting artists. The Rochford Hotel will host various artists, but only between the 22nd and the 25th of September. Caremark, there will be Sue Gash. The Beehive, Julia Tanner. Ellis, Laurie Wiseman. Number 1, Open Arts. Dive Odyssey, Steve Lodge. Odell's Coffee Shop, John Gentry. March Hares and Monkey Uncles, Rochford Silversmith Group. Premier Wills, Claire Bartlett. Terence Mendoza's Opticians, Beverly Folcard. The Great Woofaroo, Aidan Saunders. Rochford Library, Sally Chinier, Rhys Furman and King Edmund School art student. The Faith Store, Anne Bacon. Carers' Choices, Richard Argent. Mia Elizabeth, Kerry Baker-Davis and Tessa Frampton. Rochford Furnishing, Keith Gravestock. Grace's Attic, Max Dolding. Rochford Hospital, Open Arts. Whittingham's, Richard Argent. And the Rochford 100 Golf Club, Liam O'Herlihy. And please note that some of these venues have artwork displayed in windows and can be viewed from the street only. Now you can visit the website for more details on www.rochford.gov.uk/art trail or on Facebook www.facebook.com/RochArtTrail or follow us on Twitter at Rochford_arts for the latest updates.
Environment. Allocations Plan Update. The Council adopted the Allocations Plan in February of this year. This plan sets out where different forms of development will and will not be supported in the district for different uses, including homes, businesses, schools and open spaces. It will be a key part of the consideration of any planning applications made to the Council. The plan follows on from the Rochford Core Strategy, which was adopted in December 2011 and set out general locations for development. This plan can be accessed at www.rochford.gov.uk/allocations. A member of the public has launched a legal challenge against the adoption of the allocations plan. The challenge was heard in the High Court over the course of 2 days, but a further day will be necessary. This is expected to be in October. When will we find out the result of the legal challenge? The Council will have to wait for the judgment of the court, and we have not been given a timescale for this. What happens if the legal challenge is successful? A number of things could happen if the legal challenge is successful, depending on the details of the judgment. It could be the case that all the policies in the allocations plan are quashed, deleted, or just some of them. The legal challenge seeks to quash the whole of the allocations plan, but the focus has been on the site for new housing north of London Road, Rayleigh, and the Travellers' site at Michelin Farm. If these two aspects were to be quashed, the Council would need to look again at identifying sites. The sites would still be required to conform to the core strategy. The Council would still be required to identify a site for 550 dwellings to the north of London Road, Rayleigh, but the policies and the exact site boundary might be different. With the Travellers' site, the Council would still be required to allocate land for this use, and it would still be required to be in the west of the district, but it may be a different site that is ultimately identified. The Council may be required to look at sites that had previously been rejected.
Future of our towns. The Council is producing area action plans for Rochford and Rayleigh town centres. These will be used to guide and manage future development and include policies against which any future planning applications will be considered. Both area action plans aim to ensure the town centres are safe, accessible, high-quality places for residents and visitors and conserve their positive characteristics. The aim is for the majority of businesses to be retail, but with an appropriate balance of other uses, including restaurants and cafes. The Rochford Area Action Plan is at an advanced stage. It has been submitted for examination and public hearing sessions with the Government Inspector have taken place. He then asked the Council to come up with specifics for the future of Market Square. The Council asked your views, and we are now reviewing your suggestions. Next, we will draw up some suggested modifications to the plan, which will be subject to consultation. The Rayleigh Area Action Plan was subject to consultation earlier this year. We are currently reviewing the results and expect to submit the plan for government examination in the autumn. Further details can be found online at www.rochford.gov.uk in the Planning Policy section of the website. If you do not have access to the internet, please call 01702 5463 366 and ask to speak to the Planning Policy team.
Have your say. We want to hear your views on proposed modifications to two plans which are set to affect the district by midday on September the 25th, 2014. The London Southend Airport and Environs Joint Area Action Plan, JAAP. This includes policies for developing the airport and new business space, which together could create thousands of much-needed jobs for the area. It also includes environment enhancements, as well as transport improvements and regeneration proposals. The Development Management Plan. This sets out the detailed day-to-day policies which planning applications will be assessed against. It includes, for example, policies for new homes, housing extension limits in the Green Belt, and equestrian facilities. It does not replace the core strategy or allocations plan. This is how you can get involved. Both of these plans have been subject to extensive consultation and public examination by a government inspector. Several changes have now been made, which are referred to as the Schedule of Modifications. We want to know if these address the issues people have raised. In each case, the inspector will only be considering comments on the modifications and not other aspects of the plans. The schedule of modifications for both plans is available to view on the Council's website at www.rochford.gov.uk, at Council offices or in local libraries. Comments can be made using these links: www.rochford.gov.uk/LDF for the Development Management Plan, or www.rochford.gov.uk/JAAP for the JAAP. The official representation forms can be obtained from council offices or by phone on 01702 318 191.
Local economy, our first parish summit. More than 60 people attended the first parish and town council summit hosted by Rochford District Council as part of efforts to work together in the interests of residents. The event was organised by the Council's Economic Development Team to encourage better communication between the district, parish and town councils so that we can work more closely together. It also provided a forum for councils to learn from each other's experience to the benefit of all those who live and work in the district. Chairman of Rochford District Council, Councillor Mrs June Lumley, said, "Rochford is facing some challenging issues and it is important that we work in partnership to ensure that local communities can be actively involved and influence local decisions and local service delivery." It was really encouraging to see all the attendees contributing and engaging in this event. Everyone knows the current challenging financial landscape for public services, and I was really impressed by the willingness of the parish and town councils to step up and consider the things that are most important to local people. Delegates at the summit heard from a range of guest speakers, including Essex Police, RSPB, and specialists from Rochford District Council Planning and Economic Development teams. As well as the speakers, there was also a range of workshops on communication and training, emergency planning, environmental services, initiatives and funding, local highways, neighbourhood planning groups and tourism.
Funds to ease congestion. Rochford District Council has welcomed a growth deal which will bring £442.2 million of investment to the South East, with some of the funding set to bolster plans for the area around London Southend Airport. The funding package was secured by the South East Local Enterprise Partnership and will improve transport links in the areas it covers: Essex, Southend, Thurrock, East Sussex, Kent and Medway, along with providing investment to colleges and training providers and a streamlined service to businesses. Locally, residents will benefit from planned improvements to the Bell and Kent Elms interchanges on the A127, facilitating access to London Southend Airport and the new Saxon Business Park off Cherry Orchard Way, as proposed in the Southend Airport and Environ Joint Area Action Plan, known as JAAP. The leader of Rochford District Council and chairman of Thames Gateway South Essex Partnership, Councillor Terry Cutmore, said, "This growth deal is great news for Rochford residents, as it will greatly improve transport links, enhancing our plans for the wider area around London Southend Airport. Improvements to this east-west corridor, including the Fair Glen interchange, should help encourage businesses to take up the forthcoming offer of Saxon Business Park, which is expected to generate 6,000 jobs, as any business worth its salt would want to locate somewhere with good transport links. The enhancements will also encourage through traffic and traffic from the east of Rochford District and Southend Borough to use the main arterial route, as opposed to trying to fight its way along the minor roads that serve our villages." Councillor Cutmore added, "In the Rochford District, residents will feel the knock-on effect of improvements planned for Southend, particularly as the revitalisation of Victoria Avenue will help to take pressure off the housing demand generally for this peninsula. There will also be indirect benefits for Rochford residents in improving the road infrastructure along the Thames corridor, facilitating connections to the main motorway system. The increased traffic emanating from the new London Gateway port will also be accommodated by this funding, with further government funding and investments being brought forward on an annual basis."
Independence Day. An Independence Day initiative was held across the district on July the 4th to champion our local retailers. The colours of red, white and blue were proudly displayed in shop windows in Rochford, Rayleigh and Hockley to show appreciation to those who continued to support their local shopping areas. Our local parish and town councils, chambers of trade and local independent traders also joined forces with Rochford District Council to provide various activities and events. Alongside the event, Rochford District Council's Economic Development team ran a Best Dressed Window competition. The winners for Rayleigh were Daisy Lanes and Fab Shop, Hockley was Sunrise Health, and Rochford was the Faith Store. For more information on how the Economic Development team at Rochford District Council can help support local businesses, telephone 01702 318 060 or email business@rochford.gov.uk.
Young entrepreneurs from secondary schools around the district learned key business skills and competed in a Dragon's Den style business challenge during an event organised by Rochford District Council and Enterprise in Education. The competition was the grand finale of the Young Enterprise Scheme, an initiative that aims to support a more enterprising culture amongst young people by developing the skills and awareness needed to succeed in business. Teams of Year 10 students from King Edmund's School, Greenswood Academy and the Fitzwymark School worked together to invent an idea to attract new business and tourists to Rochford, whilst meeting the needs of its community. The winning team consisted of pupils from the King Edmund's School, who had invented an internet cafe offering food and social media facilities in one place to attract younger customers.
Summit for Flood Issues. Rochford District Council has set up a new group to address local flood-related issues. The Forum for Surface Water Flooding Issues brings together organisations including Essex County Council Flood Management Team, Anglian Water, Essex Highways and the Environment Agency for a round-the-table discussion. Flooding issues are not the responsibility of Rochford District Council. However, this new group aims to find out who is responsible for carrying out various flood prevention measures in order to try to ensure these responsibilities are complied with. Essex County Council has also made available an extra £1 million of emergency funding for highway flooding hotspots across the county. Rochford District Council was asked to produce a list of our 5 most affected locations where Essex County Council has now either begun or is due to carry out work. These are beneath the railway bridges at Spa Road in Hockley, Church Road in Hockley and Hall Road in Rochford, Watery Lane in Hullbridge, and Barling Road near to Kingsmead Cottages in Barling. The list does not contain major junctions such as Rayleigh Weir and the Fairglen interchange, as these are covered under separate plans. Work has also been carried out at Hedgehope Avenue and Fairmead in Rayleigh, which consisted of pipe-laying works, the clearance of vegetation and removal of debris. Rochford District Council had previously budgeted £18,000 towards tackling surface water draining issues. This will now be eligible for a match funding offer from Essex County Council, who are offering up to £50,000 to tackle local flooding issues. To report a blocked gully or highway drainage issues, call Essex Highways on 0845 6037 631. And here's some flooding advice. For further information on how to prepare for possible flooding, visit the web link, which I'll give you in a second or two, and this includes an interactive map showing the areas at risk from surface water flooding. You need to go to www.gov.uk/prepare for a flood /find out if you're at risk. If you are flooded or in imminent danger of flooding during a storm, you should contact the Essex Fire and Rescue Service on 999. If you are unfortunate enough to be flooded, there is very helpful advice on what to do next in the Flood Recovery Guide, written by people who have had first-hand experience of flooding, and you can find that at www.knowyourfloodrisk.co.uk/sites/default/files/flood recovery guide _interactive.pdf.
Parking charges change. Parking charges have increased in council pay and display car parks as a result of budget constraints. However, the council will be keeping free Saturday afternoon parking in these car parks. Parking charges were also introduced for all blue badge holders to ensure the council complies with the Equalities Act 2010. The Act requires all blue badge holders to be treated equally when concessions are granted, as previously only those with road tax exemption parked free. The changes mean all blue badge holders will now be required to pay for parking. However, provided the blue badge is displayed in the vehicle, they will now be granted a 1-hour concession beyond the expiry time printed on their pay and display ticket to account for mobility issues. No changes have been made to parking charges at the approach car park or Hockley Woods car park or to season tickets. The maximum length of stay at the Old Ship Lane car park has been extended from 2 hours to 4. To pay for parking by mobile phone, Rochford District Council has changed its service provider to Pay by Phone, and the new number to call is 0330 400 7275. Alternatively, you can text REG, R-E-G, followed by a space and then your vehicle registration number to 65565, or go to www.paybyphone.co.uk to register your details, or you can download the free Pay by Phone app.
District Boundary Review. The Independent Local Government Boundary Commission for England is carrying out an electoral review of Rochford District Council. The review will draw new council ward boundaries across the district. The Commission has also announced that it is minded to recommend that 39 councillors should continue to be elected to the council in future. Now they are asking for evidence about your local area to help them decide a new pattern of council wards for Rochford District Council. Your views will make a difference. Local people know their area best. That's why they are asking you for evidence on a range of issues. Do you have suggestions about where your ward boundaries should be? Which areas do you identify as your local community? Where do people in your area go to access local facilities such as shops and leisure activities? For more details and interactive maps, visit www.consultation.lgbce.org.uk or www.igbce.org.uk. Have your say. Send your views to the Review Officer, Rochford, Local Government Boundary Commission for England, Leyden House, Turnmill Street, London, EC1M 5LG, or email reviews@lgbce.org.uk, or follow them on Twitter @LGBCE. The consultation closes on September the 29th, 2014.
Rochford and Castle Point Sports Annual Awards for 2014 are sponsored by Pinnacle PSG. The categories and criteria. All nominees must either live within the Rochford District or Borough of Castle Point, or be a current and competing or participating member of a sports club based within either area, or go to school in either area. In the case of Sports Club of the Year, the club must be based within the Rochford District or Borough of Castle Point. The achievements referred to must be between the 1st of October 2013 and the 30th of September this year, but this does exclude people in the services to sport category. Categories are Rochford District Sports Personality of the Year, sponsored by Wells Legal Solicitors. The Disability Sports Personality of the Year is sponsored by Waters and Stanton Limited. The Young Sports Personality of the Year, sponsored by Southend United Community and Educational Trust. in the borough of Castle Point, as we've already said, services to sport, they're sponsored by the Cooperative Funeral Care, and more information about how to do that I will tell you about in a second or two. Sports Club of the Year, sponsored by Fusion Lifestyle. Rochford Castle Point 2012 Respect Award is sponsored by Affinity 1777. Those candidates who are shortlisted for awards will be contacted by the 13th of October this year and invited to the awards ceremony, which will take place on the evening of the 6th of November at Runnymede Hall in Benfleet. Winners in each category will receive an engraved trophy, shield, certificate and a cheque for £100. Now, if you'd like a nomination form, you could contact Mark Aldous, RCPSA, Rochford District Council, Council Offices, South Street, Rochford, Essex, SS41BW, or you could submit a nomination form online at www.rochford.gov.uk/sports awards, and you can get lots more information there.
Celebrate heritage. Rayleigh Windmill joined attractions up and down the country to celebrate England's fantastic architecture and culture. During the Heritage Open Days, buildings of every age, style and function throw open their doors, giving visitors a chance to discover architectural treasures and enjoy a wide range of tours, events and activities that bring local history and culture to life. The Rayleigh Windmill is no exception. Its award-winning volunteers dressed up in traditional period costume and offered guided tours, reminding us why they deserved to win the Museums and Heritage 2014 Award for Customer Service Excellence. Joining the Rayleigh Windmill in the celebrations were local charity Rayleigh Through the Looking Glass, together with the Rochford and District Community Archives, who exhibited at the Rayleigh WI Hall alongside artist Richard Argent and author Ian Yearsley. Rayleigh Windmill is nearing its 200th wedding booking. To celebrate this, Rochford District Council is offering one lucky couple the hire of Rayleigh Windmill free of charge for their wedding. To find out more, please contact the Council's leisure team on 01702 546 366 or email leisure@rochford.gov.uk.
Workers get fighting fit. Active Colleagues is an £82,216 Sport England funded project delivered by Rochford District Council in partnership with Castle Point Borough Council, Active Rochford and Active Castle Point. The project will see local businesses and access free sport and physical activity sessions. Launch days giving staff information on how they can get involved have proved very popular, and activities to be delivered in Year 1 include badminton, fencing and swimming. Great Wakerin Primary School has already enjoyed a Pilates taster, and cricket has been set up for macro staff. For further information, phone 01702 318121 or email sport@rochford.gov.uk.
Working Together, Annual Report 2013-14. Rochford District Council produces an annual report which gives an overview of the council's performance, spending and financial position. The full report is available on our website, but here is an overview of what projects we've spent money on and how much we've spent. The Council produces a detailed income and expenditure account, which can be found in the Statement of Accounts, and it's set out in a prescribed manner. However, here is some information about each of the corporate objectives and the amount showing the cost of the services and what's left to be financed from the local and national tax income. The net expenditure 2013-14, and these are in millions of pounds. We start with making a difference to our community. This includes collection of local taxes, council tax and housing benefits, emergency planning and health and safety, leisure and sports development, housing services and homelessness and community safety, elections, local land charges, cemeteries and churchyards, licensing, public conveniences, and democratic services. That all accounted for £6.34 million. Making a difference to our environment. Mill Tower Windmill, woodlands, parks and open spaces, planning and building control, environmental health, street cleansing, recycling, £4.83 million. Making a difference to our local economy, economic development and car parks, £0.45 million. The net cost of services, £11.62 million, less the statutory accounting adjustments, including capital charges, this is a minus amount of 1.41, less income from cash investments, 0.06, plus money put into reserves for future use, 0.07, a cost of local services to be met by local and national taxes, giving a total of 10.22. The net cost of services last year, that's 2012-13, was £11.38 million. And this is illustrated by the corporate objective, and this follows. What did we spend last year? Well, making a difference to our community, £5.75 million. Making a difference to our environment, £5.73 million. Making a difference to our local economy, this was a credit of 0.10, so the net cost of services was £11.38 million. Now, where did the money come from? Well, the £10.2 million that we spent on providing local services, after contributions from reserves and income raised from various fees and charges, it came from local and national taxes and redistributed business rates. Our total income for the year was £10.22 million, as opposed to the year 2012-13, which was £10.27 million, which was split. £2.7 million in government grants, £1.62 million from national business rates returned to the council, and £5.9 million from council tax residents, and I'll show you now how that was split up. 26% came from government grants, 16% of it came from business rates, and 58% of it came from council tax. And for a summary of income and expenditure, the council has been using balances built up over previous years to cover some of the reduction in government funding, and these must now be built up again. So, for the year 2013-14, the revenue account surplus total income was in deficit of £10.22 million. The total cost of services was £10.11 million. So the surplus for the year, well, there wasn't one. 0.11 in the red.
Delivering value for money. During 2013-14, the Council has been successful in generating income through the provision of services to partners and other councils, and approximately £132,400 has been earned from objectives such as providing a payroll service to Castle Point and Trust Administration, working in partnership on legal services and building control, providing grounds maintenance services to parish councils and Essex County Council. The Council also planned to make savings during the year of £420,000, which were delivered. This has been achieved by more efficient service and better organisation. Rochford District Council's dedicated staff continue to work hard to ensure it offers its residents value for money. Some examples of saving are: intensive testing on benefits was carried out by internal audit instead of the external auditors. New contract arrangements for the grounds maintenance service. Over £100,000 per year in savings from a new ICT contract. And reduction in the cost of external audit. The Council is determined to deliver high levels of performance. Rochford has shown that despite having one of the lowest government grant funding levels, it continues to save money and reduce spending. We will continue to keep close scrutiny over council money. Council tax. The Council was responsible for collecting £44.1 million of council tax last year, but we only kept £5.9 million, equivalent to 13p in every £1 collected. The majority of what's collected is paid to others as follows: parish and town councils, £1.1 million, Essex Fire Authority, £1.9 million, Essex Police Authority, £4.1 million, Rochford District Council, £5.9 million, Essex County Council, £31.1 million. The reduction in the amount of council tax collected was due to the government's introduction of a local council tax support scheme, which gives a discount to eligible claimants instead of paying a council tax benefit. The average council tax for Band D property for 2013-14 was made up as follows: Rochford District Council, £201.11, Essex County Council, £1,086.75, Essex Fire and Rescue, £66.42, Essex Police Authority, £141.48, Town and Parish Councils average £39.15, giving a total of £1,538.91. And in 2013, the national average for council tax on a Band D property was £1,456.
Discretionary rate relief. Charities and some sports clubs are entitled to 80% mandatory relief on their business rates. In order to provide additional support, the Council can award discretionary relief for the remaining 20%. For 2013-14, discretionary relief was awarded to 31 organisations throughout the district at a cost to the Council of £9,457. Capital expenditure. We also spend money on improving land and buildings in order to continue delivering excellent cost-effective services for all our customers. Capital expenditure is the money spent on the purchase and improvement of buildings, vehicles, equipment and computer software. It is called capital expenditure as it results in assets which the Council and the community can use for more than 1 year. Capital expenditure does not directly affect the council tax. For 2013-14, our expenditure on capital, compared to what we planned to spend, was as follows, and this is in thousands of pounds. What we spent, vehicles and equipment, planned £544,000, actual was £128,000. Leisure and play facilities, £220 and £148. Disabled housing grants, £493, £425. IT infrastructure, £47, and that was the same for actual. Council properties, £296 and £154. Big society grants, £49, and actual was £48. The total, £1,649,000 planned, and actual was £950,000. Some of the projects not completed in 2013-14 will be rolled forward into 2014-15. The £950,000 which was spent on our land and property assets was paid for by capital receipts from the sale of property, grants and from revenue. How we paid for capital expenditure, 2013-14, grants and contributions £190,000, capital receipts £760,000, making a total of £950,000. Financial performance. Rochford District Council is amongst the best in Essex and the country when it comes to collecting council tax. The Revenues and Benefits team collected 98.3% of the £44.1 million council tax due last year. We also collected 97.8% of business rates due last year, which was an increase on 2012-13. Collecting income in the current economic climate is challenging, but staff have offered as much support and advice as possible to help local residents and businesses to pay their bills.
And some environment information now. Waste not, want not. There's a recycling event called Rethink Rubbish, and that's taking place on Thursday, the 30th of October, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Mill Arts and Event Centre in Rayleigh. Now, if you're looking for a free, family-friendly day to keep the kids occupied this autumn, then why not head to the first Rethink Rubbish event, which is being held as part of an ongoing drive to get everyone recycling. The event will be a celebration of the district's recycling achievement, as we are currently number 1 in the whole of England for our recycling rates. It also marks 10 years since the first curbside recycling scheme was put in place for the district. So, at Rochford District Council, we would like to take the opportunity to thank all residents for their enthusiasm and participation in the various recycling schemes throughout the past decade. The event will consist of a variety of recycling and reuse activities, along with information on all things recycling. Children will get the chance to take part in fabric and recycled art workshops, which will involve making a weave and a large-scale collage. Then enjoy some recycled rhythms, a performance by pupils from Downhall Primary School, Rayleigh, working with the Mushroom Theatre Company, which will involve using old pots, pans, metal bins and other recycled goods to make music. Children will also be able to try their hands at some of the instruments after the performance. During the afternoon, you'll be able to feast your eyes on a spectacular fashion show using recycled and reused clothing. The show has been created by students from Civic College and Fitzwymark School, Rayleigh, especially for the day. For the adults, there will be information on reducing food waste, reuse, recycling and sewing workshops where you can learn how to make, do and mend old items of clothing to give them new lease of life. Eco-businesses and community groups will also be in attendance to give you an overview of their work. Teams from Rochford District Council and Essex County Council will be present to answer any waste and recycling questions. So, why not pop in to the Mill Arts and Event Centre, Rayleigh, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m, Thursday the 30th of October, and there's no need to book. Now, please, don't be confused by curbside recycling anymore. These items can go into your curbside recyclables bin. Yoghurt pot base, plastic food tray base and carrier bags. What about those that can't? Well, yoghurt pot lids, cling film, crisp packets, film lid from a food tray, salad bag, baguette wrapper, supermarket food bags. You know, those little plastic ones that you can get off a roll to put your loose fruit and veg in. Also, these non-recyclable items must be placed in your non-recyclables bin. Cling film, bubble wrap, plastic wrapping, black sacks, chocolate, crisp and biscuit wrappers, polystyrene, disposable nappies, incontinence pads, pants, sanitary waste, cat litter and animal faeces, pet food, cat food pouches, animal bedding, vacuum dust, used tissues, cotton wool, cotton buds, corks, pots, pans and cutlery, wood, non-reusable textiles, in other words, textiles that are heavily soiled. And if you'd like more information, visit www.rochford.gov.uk/recycle.
Time to scoop that poop. We know that dog fouling has been a hot topic for residents in recent years. We also know that there's more social pressure on dog owners to clean up after their pets, with people saying dog fouling is the most offensive form of litter. People are becoming far less tolerant of dog fouling and are more likely to challenge someone if they see them not scooping the poop. Part of the responsibility that goes with owning a dog is to clear up after its mess. Whilst the majority of dog owners do pick up, some inconsiderate people are leaving dog's mess in parks, on pavements and in alleyways, and this is being stepped on by school children. Other residents are wheeling pushchairs and mobility scooters through it, and it then ends up in people's homes. To tackle this problem, the council has developed an educational programme to highlight the issue and to warn individuals that they run the risk of a fine if they fail to clear up after their dog. A poster competition was also carried out with children at Great Wakering Primary School and Riverside Primary School, Hullbridge, who came up with creative ideas about how to encourage people to pick up after their pooch. Please look out for our notices on the pavements and warning posters which are being used in problem areas in the Rochford district. Our officers will be out patrolling these areas, so if you know of a problem with dog fouling, please report it to the council.
Report it to sort it. A Love Clean Streets mobile phone application can be downloaded for free as part of efforts to keep our environment shipshape. The application lets you take a photo and will automatically find where you are and send the location and image straight to the council's street scene team. For residents in the district, the app makes it easier to report street cleansing issues, and for the council it means we're able to respond quicker to clear up the problem. You simply download the app for free from your smartphone app store, look for Love Clean Streets, select the Rochford CETA version, then hit download. Then, when you see a street cleansing issue you want to report, take out your phone, take a photo of it, and the application will send it straight to the council. Please be aware, although the app is free of charge, reporting a problem is charged at the usual data rates for sending photos within your mobile data tariff. Volunteers lend a hand. Volunteers have been clearing streams and building dams in an effort to help reduce the risk of flooding. Employees from Southend McDonald's have been working with staff from Rochford District Council at Hockley Woods, where they have cleared the stream by removing branches and debris which had been stopping the flow of water. Dams have also been built to allow natural pools to form to catch surplus rainwater which will prevent flooding further downstream. Rochford District Council's Head of Environmental Services, Richard Evans, said, "This is one of many environmental projects we have worked on with McDonald's in Southend. It is very encouraging that they have such a vested interest in our district. The work all our volunteers do is greatly appreciated, and we would encourage anyone who wants to volunteer for environmental projects to contact our street scene team on 01702 318 111.
Out and about. Who, what, when, where and how. We'll start with clubs and groups. Events at Rochford Library, Wishingwell Centre. Every Tuesday, 9:45 to 10:15 a.m, stories and rhymes for babies and toddlers. The Job Club, every Thursday between 2 and 4 p.m, help building your CV, searching and applying for vacancies. The Baby and Toddler Group, every Friday, 9:30 to 10 a.m, stories and rhymes for 0 to 5 years. A book sale, every Saturday, all day. What will you discover? Dial, every last Tuesday each month, 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m, disability information and advice. And Caremark, every last Thursday each month, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, advice on care and support at home. Southend Wado Kai, traditional Wado Reo, keeping to the original teachings of its founder Hironori Otsuka, at Great Wakering Memorial Hall on Mondays at 7 and St Andrew's Church Hall, Ashington on Fridays at 7. Contact Tony Brooker 07806 795 967. Art classes suitable for beginners and more experienced students. Mondays and Tuesdays, 10 a.m. until 12 and 1 p.m. till 3 at the Women's Institute Hall, Bellingham Lane, Rayleigh. Contact is 01702 615 475, or you could email paulalcock43 at yahoo.co.uk. Badminton. The club are anxious to recruit experienced players. They meet every Monday evening from 7:30 until 9:30 at the David Cox Sports Hall, Fitzwymark School, Rayleigh. The contact is Fitzwymark Badminton Club, Mark Worship, 01268 771 914. His email, worships@talktalk.net. Nordic walking, a fun walking session using poles to increase your workout. No experience necessary. Tuesdays at 11 a.m, Cherry Orchard Park, but booking is essential. Please contact Active Life, Tina, 07758 223 955. There's a website, www.activelife.uk.com. The Institute of Advanced Motorists. This friendly local group meets to discuss motoring and road safety issues. They meet on the first Wednesday evening of every other month at Hockley Community Centre. The contact is Colin Gammon. You can find him on 01702 204 706. Roach Art Group. All abilities are catered for at this friendly club with good lighting and facilities and a variety of media. They meet on Wednesday evenings between 7:30 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. at St Teresa's Church Hall, Ashington Road, Rochford, SS4 1RF. The entrance is via the school gates, with the hall located to the rear of the church. Reasonable fees apply and details on request. From Jill, 07968 745 975, or John, 07933 263 930. Active 50 Plus, a fun exercise session for all abilities to increase the heart rate and tone up. Fridays 9:30, Hawkwell Baptist Church, £4 per session. No need to book, just come along and join in. The contact is Active Life, Sarah, 07740 626 226. Again, website www.activelife.uk.com. The Roach Art Group Annual Exhibition is on from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, the 25th of October, at St Teresa's Church Hall, 109 Ashington Road, Rochford, SS4 1RF, and the entrance is via the school gates. It's free admission and free parking, and I'll give you Jill's number again. That's 07968 745 975, or John on 07933 263 930.
Council and committee meetings. All meetings will take place at the Civic Suite, 2 Hockley Road, Rayleigh, SS6 8EB, and they all start at 7:30 p.m. Development Committee, Thursday, September the 25th. Audit Committee, Tuesday, September the 30th. Standards Committee, Tuesday, October the 2nd. Review Committee, Tuesday, October the 7th. The Executive, Wednesday, October the 15th. Full Council meeting, Tuesday, October the 21st. Development Committee, Thursday, October the 30th. Review Committee, Tuesday, November the 4th. The Executive, Wednesday, November the 5th. Development Committee, Thursday, November the 20th. For more information, call Member Services on 01702 318 140. The Arts. Family Theatre. These are professional theatre shows for children and families which are fun, entertaining and affordable. 2 p.m. on Sunday, October the 12th, Fireside Tales with Grandad. 2 p.m. Sunday, November the 9th, The Magic Porridge Pot. Both at the Mill Arts and Events Centre, Rayleigh, and just £3.50 per ticket. To book, Rochford District Council Customer Services 01702 318 191. And some dates for your diary. Rochford Art Trail from September the 18th to the 27th. Half-term holiday activities, October the 27th to the 31st. And Rochford and Castle Point Sports Awards, November the 6th. Sports and Leisure. Rochford District Disability Sports Sessions. Taster sessions in boccia, sitting volleyball and table cricket for all ages. These are at Stanbridge Parish Hall, SS4 2AR, and all sessions are free of charge. And these are the times and dates. 10 a.m. to 12 noon on Wednesday, September the 24th. 2 to 4 p.m. on Friday, October the 3rd. 6 to 8 p.m. on Wednesday, October the 8th. All participants are welcome to attend at any time throughout the 2 hours. For more information, phone 01702 318 121 or you can email sport@rochford.gov.uk. And if you require transport to get to any of the sessions, please contact us so we can discuss what assistance we may be able to provide. And please note that although events are checked before going to press, they are subject to change. We recommend you visit our website at www.rochford.gov.uk or contact the organisers to check before going to an event.
Get your council tax bill through your inbox, not your letterbox. Sign up for paperless billing. Visit www.rochford.gov.uk/paperless billing. Fill in the form, click submit, and we will do the rest for you. 24/7 access to our online services. Revenues and Benefits have been working hard to update our section of Rochford District Council's website, making it easier for customers to find out about our services. The website is now more informative, user-friendly, and help customers to help themselves. By visiting our website, you can use our online services to view your council tax, business rate or housing benefit accounts, report a move, make payments, sign up for direct debits and paperless billing, and download application forms and advice leaflets. Useful information for Revenues and Benefits customers is as follows. www.rochford.gov.uk/council tax. You can find out how to use our online services, how your bill is calculated, how to pay, what happens if you don't pay, what to do if you are moving, about discounts and exemptions, about local council tax support, how to appeal and how to contact us. www.rochford.gov.uk/benefits. You can find out how to use our online services, how to make a claim, information about welfare reform changes, discretionary housing payments and overpaid housing benefit, how to report suspected fraud, how to appeal and how to contact us. www.rochford.gov.uk/business rates. You can find out how to use our online services, how to pay, what happens if you don't pay, about moving, how to reduce your bill, how to appeal and how to contact us.
In focus, Chairman pays tribute. The 100-year anniversary of the start of the First World War was commemorated on Monday, August the 4th, with acts of remembrance held across the district. The Rayleigh Windmill hosted an exhibition showing what life was like in Rayleigh at the outbreak of the war. The exhibition, organised by local charity Rayleigh Through the Looking Glass in conjunction with Rochford District Community Archives, displayed photographs of the town taken in 1914. It also featured the records and family photos of 204 Rayleigh men who fought in the conflict, including 92 who sadly never returned. Rayleigh Through the Looking Glass volunteer Mike Davis said, "We spend a lot of our time researching the history of Rayleigh, and obviously the Great War is a significant part of this. It is only right and proper that we commend the sacrifices made by the Rayleigh men who fought in the conflict." Councillor June Lumley, chairman of Rochford District Council, said, "I am honoured and humbled to have attended this exhibition. Looking through all the items on display, it really brings it home the sacrifices people made to protect their country. The volunteers have all done an amazing job, and I would like to personally thank them for the time and effort they have put into the exhibition to make it the success it is. It was great to see the windmill full of people of all ages coming together to remember the local heroes of our past and teaching the younger generations just how important they were and still are to us today."
And remember, you can invite the chairman to attend events in the district. She's very keen to meet as many groups and organisations as she can across the district during her year in office, so she can better understand the valuable work that they do, in particular for people who are vulnerable and need additional help and support to improve the quality of their lives. The chairman, Councillor June Lumley, has decided at this stage not to name any charities to support until the end of her year, but they will be local charities within the Rochford district. She's open to invitations to visit schools in the district, and with Christmas coming up, will be very pleased to attend any carol concerts being arranged at local schools. The chairman recently attended the Disability Essex First exhibition, The Only Way is Disability Essex, which was a showcase of products and services available to disabled people in their daily lives. The event was held on July the 4th, Independence Day, so was themed Striving for Independence. She was delighted to attend, saying that it was interesting to see the type of products and services now available to disabled people to give them greater independence. If you'd like the chairman to attend an event, please phone the Civic Officer Lynn Rackley on 01702 318 144 or email lynn.rackley@rochford.gov.uk.
Poppies in bloom. Back in May, Rochford District Council was already starting to prepare to commemorate the start of the First World War by planting poppy seeds at various spots throughout the district. The former chairman and our Young Citizen of the Year, Luke Polly, both attended a ceremony at Rayleigh Windmill, where they led a service honouring those who lost their lives during the 4 years of the war and planted the poppy seeds in remembrance. With August the 4th being the anniversary of the start of the First World War, the new chairman paid a visit to the windmill to see the poppies in full bloom. The chairman, Councillor June Lumley, said, "It's wonderful to see that all the poppies have flowered just in time to remember those who lost their lives 100 years ago." The council currently has plans for a 4-year programme of events from 2014 to 2018 to commemorate the centenary of the First World War.
D-Day Hero Remembers. Memories from survivor of Pegasus Bridge. And accompanying this article is a wonderful photograph of Pat Topsy Turner, who was the gentleman involved with his medals. He was 14 Pilot B Company Ox and Bucks in Glider 3. Pat Turner is a survivor from the Pegasus Bridge invasion, and he lives right here in the Rochford District. To celebrate this great man, we asked him to recall his memories from that fateful night and share with the district just how important the mission was. This is his story. Until recently, I never really understood how important this operation was to the overall success of the invasion, and I doubt whether many of the other soldiers realised either. We had our orders, we'd been very well trained, and when the time came, in common with thousands of others, we just did what was expected of us. I would like to take this opportunity to make the point that it is nothing, I repeat, nothing, like the way it has been portrayed in the movies. When the action started, as it did just after midnight, it was pitch black, with just the occasional glint off the water and the vaguest of vague outlines of buildings, trees, and, of course, the bridge. After the first flare went up from the German side, there commenced an intense period of guns being fired, stun and Mills grenades going off, and lots of noise, shouting, and shadowy forms running about. The scene was lit eerily by the flicker of the flares and muzzle flashes, and possibly by the distant explosions of our tow planes bombing Caen, 6 kilometres away to the west, although, to be honest, I can't remember that exactly, as I tended to be a bit busy at the time. Think of a crowd, fitfully and intermittently lit up at a fireworks display, and you have part of the picture. We had left Tarrant Rushton Airfield in Dorset late that evening, and after an hour and a half our pilots had cast off from the towing bombers over the coast, and we, in number 3 glider, headed for the Canal Bridge, following the other 2 gliders at 1-minute intervals. Not that you could see them, it was all done with watches and dead reckoning. We became very quiet in the glider as we approached the landing, which was basically a semi-controlled crash at about 100 miles an hour, as we were so heavily overloaded. I was typical of the other 28 men in our glider. My normal weight was 10.5 stone, but with the extra ammunition and equipment I was carrying, I weighed in at 17.5 stone that night. Just as we were about to land, the order was given, "Link arms," which we did, at the same time raising our feet from the floor. There was a huge crunching and cracking sound as the glider floor collapsed and the wing broke off. Truth to tell, I don't remember any more until I found myself with the others, outside the wreck of the glider, with all the noise and commotion that I mentioned earlier around us. The time was just 00:18. The sappers with us were given priority to look for the demolition explosives that were supposed to be on the bridge. And when they announced, "All clear," the rest of us gave them a cheer and, strange as it may seem, a round of applause. I later noticed a body in the water of the swamp that we had landed alongside, and like everyone else had assumed it was a German. But it turned out to be my mate and number 1 to my number 2 on the Bren gun, Fred Greenhalgh, possibly the first man to actually die on D-Day. It turned out that he'd been thrown out of our glider when it split apart on landing and drowned in the adjacent swamp. After beating off several German counterattacks, we were relieved later in the morning by the troops coming up from the beaches where they had landed earlier, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, that quite a few of us were emotionally upset by the relief from the tension and the knowledge that we had done it. In summary, I can only say that for me, and I suspect many others, it was a night of confusion, intense feelings and stress, but because of the superb training, we made fewer mistakes than the enemy, thereby enabling the battle to be brought to a successful conclusion.
The lights go out. A Lights Out campaign has been held to commemorate the day Britain declared war on Germany on August the 4th, 1914. As a nation, we were all encouraged to extinguish all lights in our homes and public buildings, leaving just one lamp or candle alight in a window between the hours of 10 p.m. and 11 p.m. as a symbol of reflection and hope. At this time, more than 1 million Commonwealth Service personnel who lost their lives in the First World War were remembered. The Council was pleased to participate in this event, turning all our lights out at the Old House Rochford, the Civic Suite Rayleigh, and at Rayleigh Windmill, apart from one lamp. The Council's chairman, June Lumley, also attended a candlelit service held by the Royal British Legion Rayleigh branch at their memorial in London Hill, Church Street.
Environment. Explore our parks. Situated in the rolling countryside of the Roach Valley, Cherry Orchard Jubilee Country Park lies in some of the most beautiful countryside in South Essex. This 200-acre wildlife park continues to mature, providing a unique space for residents and visitors to enjoy. The park is taking shape out of a vision of turning an area of farmland into a public open space where everyone can enjoy all the countryside has to offer. There are numerous public rights of way for walkers, cyclists and horse riders to enjoy. Areas of open grassland have been established, and these are mown to create more varied species-rich meadows. The first phase, the central section of the park, has been completed with the planting of 28,000 native trees. A surfaced bridleway allows good access to the lake and other areas of the park for horse riders, cyclists and walkers. In 2008, the council acquired further land and woodland to the east and west of the existing park. 7 new woodlands of more than 35 acres containing 32,000 trees were planted that winter. Recent years has seen the addition of a car park, play area, orchard and wildflower meadow. Funding opportunities to allow continued improvement to our open spaces are proving more challenging to find, and this may continue for some time. With the Council's commitment to preserving our local landscape, whatever the future holds, one thing remains a constant: the freedom for us all and future generations to enjoy this beautiful part of Essex.
In focus, forgotten fruits. Recent years have seen an increased interest in the restoration of England's once abundant and productive orchards. Essex in particular has lost 75% of its original orchards. From the outset, it had been planned to create a community orchard within Cherry Orchard Jubilee Country Park, using, where possible, local Essex varieties of apple, pear and cherry. The young trees were purchased from the East of England Apples and Orchards Project Nursery, an organisation which is dedicated to the restoration of our county's orchards. The cherry trees, a mix of East Anglia varieties, have been planted outside the main orchard to create an area to picnic and play, and you may also enjoy the fruit, if you can get to it before the birds. The oldest Essex dessert apple we have planted is Darcy Spice 1785, and culinary apple Dr. Harvey dates back to 1629. With such enchanting names, who could resist the temptation to try these forgotten fruits? Thank you to the Friends Group members who helped with planting on a cold December morning, and also to Bruce Reed, who generously shared his knowledge of fruit trees. Why not join us and celebrate all things Apple on Apple Day, which is Sunday, September the 28th. This year, we will have an apple expert on hand to identify your own apples. Who knows, you may have a lost variety in your own back garden.
In March 2010, a Friends of Cherry Orchard Jubilee Country Park group was formed. The Friends group allows the local community to have a say in how the park is managed. As they are the users of these facilities, they are best placed to say what is needed in the park. In addition to this, they organise events in the park, such as nature walks and fun days. You may be familiar with the very successful Apple Day, a free, fun, family festival with lots to see and do for all ages. As we've heard, this year it will be held from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday, September the 28th. There will be food, entertainment and lots of family-friendly activities. If you'd like to know more about Apple Day or joining the Friends of Cherry Orchard Jubilee Country Park, please visit www.friendsofcherryorchardpark.org, or you can find the Friends group on Facebook.
Halloween, don't be mean. Halloween seems to be one of those things like Marmite that people either love or loathe. If you love it, it's a great opportunity to dress up, carve your pumpkin, decorate your home in a ghoulish way and get out there to trick or treat on All Hallows Eve this October 31st. For those of you with children, there are some good safety tips on the Too Smart website at www.toosmart.co.uk/Halloween. Essex Police will be making sure everyone has a good time without crossing the line, so be sure not to upset your neighbours by behaving badly. If you see a sign for no trick-or-treaters, don't knock on the door. Sadly, each year a small minority have thrown eggs. This can damage paintwork, and anyone found doing it will be dealt with as causing antisocial behaviour and criminal damage. If you loathe it and don't want any trick-or-treaters to come to your door, you can print off a "Sorry No Trick-or-Treaters" poster from the Too Smart website, or pick one up from Rayleigh Police Station, Rochford District Council offices, South Street in Rochford, the Civic Suite in Rayleigh, or your local library. If you have suffered an egging, wash it off as soon as possible to prevent it causing any damage. If you are concerned about any behaviour near your home, you can call police on 101 and report it. Remember, the vast majority of children don't cause any problem and are just seeking a treat. Most will be accompanied by adults. Shopkeepers are being asked to restrict the sale of eggs and flour to young people in the week running up to Halloween in a bid to reduce damage to property. Posters will be distributed for traders to display in their windows. This year, a local poster competition will also be run with schools on the theme Trick or Treat, Let's Stay Safe.
Solving neighbour disputes. A free specialist mediation service to resolve neighbourhood disputes is available across the Rochford District and Castle Point boroughs. The Mediation and Advice Project, a local enterprise company, has been engaged to provide the service, which has been awarded funding from Castle Point and Rochford District Community Safety Partnership. Sessions last up to 2 hours and are led by a fully trained mediator. On average, it takes 2 sessions to come to a mutual agreement. The sessions are informal, completely confidential, and can take place via telephone or with face-to-face meetings. If you'd like to find out more, you could telephone 01702 567 095, or you could email the MEDAD project, and that's all one word, at cpcab.org.uk.
A Keep Safe scheme is set to be launched in the Rochford district so people know where they can turn in a crisis. It means that certain places will be designated as a Keep Safe venue where any person who feels unwell, upset or disorientated can go to ask for help to contact a family member, friend or carer. Local venues identified as safe places will provide free access to a telephone or will make a call on behalf of someone producing their Keep Safe card. Each venue will display a logo so they can be easily identified. The Keep Safe scheme, aimed at the over 60s, was first launched by Braintree District Council and has been so successful that it has been replicated for residents in the Chelmsford, Colchester, Tendring and Malden areas. There are now in excess of 100 Keep Safe venues across Essex. The local scheme will be launched on October the 1st, 2014 and will initially be in Rayleigh only. If you would like your venue to take part, contact Rochford District Council's Community Safety Team on 01702 318 112.
Free home safety checks. These free checks are being offered to those aged over 65 or who require additional support due to a learning disability or mental, physical or sensory impairment. They are provided by the Community Safety Team in partnership with Essex County Council Trading Standards and Essex County Fire and Rescue Service and include advice on fire safety, dealing with cold calling and using the Buy with Confidence scheme to find reputable traders. Portable appliance testing is carried out on small electrical appliances by a qualified electrician, and any item that fails will be fixed or replaced free of charge. Smoke alarms will also be provided and fitted free of charge if deemed necessary. To find out more, email communitysafety@rochford.gov.uk or phone 01702 318120.
Rochford District Matters is designed and published by Rochford District Council. Its editor